Okay, we need to welcome Professor Biokoro, the HOD Philosophy Department. He'll be our chief speaker today to introduce what I said. And then we started before he came in, but we'll continue. We need to let us finish with what Adedotun is presenting, then come back to the HOD to the Rosary Scholar, Professor of Metaphysics. So, we're going so continue.
So we're talking about Lekki Conservation Center and its biodiversity. I stated that Lekki is located in Lagos State and it has actually played a vital role in environmental conservation and ecotourism because in there we have found different microorganisms, different species, different flora and different fauna that has proven to be influential in the ecosystem. Some of the species in Lekki Conservation Center, we have the mammals, including the Mona monkeys, which I worked on. We have the bush buck, we have the squirrels, we have reptiles, we have crocodiles, we have monitor lizard, we have snakes in there. Then birds, different types of birds. We have egrets, insects, we have butterflies, frogs, and toads. Now, Mona monkey, Mona monkey are mammals and they play vital role. Their ecology and behavior is similar to humans, but we are higher animals compared to them. They help in seed dispersal, like when they eat something, in the process of throwing it away, they are indirectly planting the seeds, which of course grows, it forms shelter, environmental protection for the birds, and there are other microorganisms in there. Then ecosystem balance, they control insect populations by feeding on them, on the smaller insects. Tourist attraction, one of the major role of LCC is the tourist attraction, that is ecotourism, bringing ecology and tourists. That's what is in LCC and what they give back to the society. We have the flora, we have the animals, people come, that is tourism, but they are visiting the ecological state. It also serves as a form of knowledge for researches, which was what I did, and it has helped a whole lot because it has exposed us to different things. We have learned that there can actually be a peaceful coexistence between animals and humans. Mona monkey, for example, that I worked on, in the study, I saw that I researched and came to a conclusion that a lot of people come there and the monkeys have their pattern. Humans come to them, we don't understand their language, but there are ways we can actually co-relate without disrupting the ecosystem of that place. And amongst which I discovered is that there is a place called the Wood Walkway. It's a pathway. I'm sure some of us that's been there know where I'm talking about. On that way, we have the monkeys lining up. Some of them snatch what you have. Some tourists feed them. Along the line, there will be fights, like altercation. You can snatch, because I remember vividly in the course of my research, there was an Indian man or Chinese man. He had food box, and the monkey just jumped at. They have this strong sense of smell. He attacked him, collected it, and the man was like, "Wow!" He actually had scratch. So these are the things we need to guide against, because one, you have put them in distress, you have altered their feeding pattern. What they usually eat is not food we consume as humans. But because they sit with you, they come at you, and you have, in a way, disrupt their mental state and their pattern. But then again, there is education and awareness. Now, tourists, that's people coming in there, they know that, okay, we have a conservation where you can see animals, where you can make researches, where you can see nature in its unrefined state. Then there's wildlife photography. Couple of people, couple of researchers, tourists, they take the pictures just for research purposes. Some of them also use that for funding. They request funding, they request scholarship, because they want to know more about that. Then nature-based recreation. It encourages appreciation of biodiversity. From what doctor said, bioethics, applying wisdom. How do we control this? How do we enhance what we have? Now, don't forget that the interaction between human and monkey is in such a way that we are codependent once you are in there, because now there is urbanization where the monkeys usually reside. You have sent them back because you have built there. There's deforestation, so they have to further go in. Now there is more like a silent war between humans and monkeys, and that's why when they come at you, they come aggressively. There's competition for food, there's competition for resources, there's competition for space. But once you come there, you know that okay, this is a nature-based recreation and there are ways we can go about it. But the negative interactions and challenges still comes up almost every day. There's human feeding of monkeys, usually advised no, 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 because it leads to dependency, aggression, and attacks. Arbitration to humans, like I said earlier, it reduces their natural fear, and this causes conflict between humans and monkeys. Then littering and habitat degradation. So, in the course of this research, we observed that there are some things that had to be put in place, the conservation efforts and recommendations. Strictly no feeding policies. When you come there, experience the nature, biodiversity, and all of that, okay, this is it. Don't feed them. We try to educate tourists not to feed wildlife because they can attack you, they can scratch you, it can lead to conflict, and we never can tell what can happen. So we usually advise them no feeding. Then sustainable tourism practices. You should limit close interactions. You don't carry the monkeys, you don't shake them, you should limit it. Community engagement. We should advise the community that there can actually be a peaceful coexistence between these people, that's humans and monkeys. Let us live in peace. Don't disrupt them. Then the government should also help. This deforestation, it has actually driven the monkeys into the forest further, and that's why there is usually conflict. Habitat protection protects where we are. In conclusion, Lekki Conservation Center is a biodiversity hotspot that plays a major role in wildlife conservation and ecotourism. you know, and we can actually do better by visiting there, experiencing biodiversity, and applying the wisdom on how to go about things with them. Thank you, sir.
Oh, listen to Adedotun. I don't know that lady. How many people have visited that place? You still need to go.
Did you see any monkey?
Like your bad advice,
Okay.
leave, let us live and let live. We come to questions. Just take note of your question. Prof, do you have anything to say? Because if you want to continue,
It's about 20 years or more I visited that place.
Wow.
Since around 1997. So
Wow, that's a long time.
almost 20 years or even more than that. We used to go for retreats. Then
I think we take questions for her while Mary will present after her. Let's take questions on this. And I don't know whether you have anything to ask or clarify or to cast more light on what she has just said. And the issue of live and let live. Ibiri Kandiri, Domirinda,
Coexistence.
coexistence with nature. But you're not the only humans are not the only inhabitants in this. So we the planet.
no,
Others,
my own question is
Yes, sir.
what you represent a research institute, right?
Yes. No, I had my MS project there.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
here in the University of Lagos. So
Yes, I hear.
is there anything that is being done to present a proposal or program to Lagos State government
Okay.
Yes, rules we cannot prevent human beings from expanding,
Yes, sir.
but there must be law about eco preservation.
Yes, sir.
In the sense that if you displace monkeys, like here we displace them,
Yes, sir.
and we even gone to the extent of dispersing them from where they used to stay.
Yes, sir.
Because if not, all this place will have seen them, green monkeys.
Yes, sir.
You will have seen them. Now, is there something we can do in terms of having a policy
Okay.
that any developer or company or whatever that is going to get into a virgin place, XYZ must be done in that place or those places to ensure that even when those habitats
Not disrupted.
are affected
Yes,
and
sir.
the inhabitants are displaced, before we do that, their food pattern, their minorities in terms of food and everything must be studied. And when studied, we must replicate such for them. Even though you are going to quarantine them in an area, you must replicate for them so that their feeding pattern is not distorted. And then you can actually pick an area like a reserve where you cordon off that area, nobody touches it. It is just in its natural state, and everything they need that have been removed in places we have occupied must be replicated in those places. It should be a policy.
Thank you very much, sir. So, in the course of the study, it was part of my recommendation. But as we all know, in Lagos State is the land of opportunity, and I'm proud to be a Lagosian. But then again, a lot of people want to come to Lagos, and as such, there will be increase in urbanization, deforestation, and all of that, which further drives the animals and ecosystem into the forest. But then we have some places called protected area. These are natural ecosystem that has never been disrupted. In there we have the feeding pattern structured for mammals, structured for animals, structured for plants, structured for butterflies and all of that, readily available. But trying to carve another one, nobody has that autonomy except the government. Is the government ready to do that?
That's why I say it's a good proposal for them.
For Lagos State government.
We recommended that to NCF, that is Nigerian Conservation Foundation.
This one's the special proposal
Yes.
to Lagos State governor
Okay, sir.
submitted to the assembly. Let them debate it. So that wherever you go, for instance, this university has a zoo.
Yes.
And then what is our own concept of zoo? Is it zoo of only mammals or zoo of all the species that we met in that place? So you can have in estates you can have
Yes,
mini
sir.
zoos.
Yes, sir.
So that when you're developing estates, you don't displace all the animals there and the forest there. They're at the center of it or somewhere in corner of it must be a mini zoo. It could be
Yeah.
5 acres, it could be 3 acres, it could be 10 acres, but there should be a zoo there.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. So it becomes part of our policy that we are developing estates, but there must be within the estates some natural preservation that will not be touched. That even when the time comes, we can send the children in that place to go there with protected wares and vehicles to enter into the place so that they can see animals, not until they travel 10 to 20 kilometers. That way, we will have more natural
Interaction.
places preserved.
Yes, sir.
And make it a policy that part of estate development in Lagos, it will become part of the style. There must be a natural place preserved for plants and animals. You
Yes,
don't
sir.
bring down everything,
Right.
and you don't necessarily farm in those places.
Yes.
And so it's a way of replicating what in our side those days we used to call evil forest.
Evil forest.
There was nothing evil about the forest.
Exactly.
It was just natural forest
Yes.
preservation. And people were
Wildlife.
forbidden to enter into the place to
Because
farm
of
to
the
do
wildlife.
anything, so that
Yeah.
they are natural states. So that concept can be reformed. And the evil forest can be in the middle of the village, at the end of the village. but
True.
it is a place they have seen the preeminence of nature.
Mm-hmm.
So if Lagos State, if a policy can be sent to Lagos State, once Lagos State starts it, other states will start it.
Keen to it.
Uh-huh. And so once you have that kind of a policy that you don't just come, for instance, like in US of Lagos, big as it is, you just level everything. You must preserve it.
Yeah.
And that corner must not be less than maybe 5 acres. Preserve it, depending on how big. If it's not too big an estate, 1 acre. There must be natural so you can go there and see nature, all that. It's part of the fund.
Yes,
And then there, was there must be a standard policy of how to quarantine, what materials to use.
Yeah.
So these are the things I'm talking about.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Prof,
Okay.
for that contribution. And then I also want to add, when you were presenting, you were talking about habitat destruction, mainly, yeah, urbanization and
Yeah.
even expansion in agricultural land.
Yes, sir.
Now, when we pursue aspect of development, when we want to go into agriculture, farming, then we destroy other ones.
Yes, sir.
That we don't preserve animal life, plants, and other disease. And whatever we do is for the enjoyment of human beings.
Yeah.
You see that we are still dominating, we are still using appropriate of our own good.
Yeah.
But when we look at those monkeys, for example, unlike me to what I experienced when I was growing up in the East, we used to see all these animals in the forest. But when Christianity came to the level, let me use Christianity as an example, that was a prominent religion there. They came with that mentality of all those forests, sacred forests you're talking about. They see them as evil forests. And people begin to see that the evil in the village is from that forest. The animals there, they are responsible for every evil in the village. So those animals must be killed, the forest must be killed, so those sacred trees must be cut down. And these are ways of the natural preservation of environment. Cutting down those trees, killing those animals, and they go into extinction.
Yeah.
And when you see those animals that they feel that we are staying, that you see that like their natural habitat, they can then find themselves in the houses. Like you go inside our ceiling, you see those squirrels are living there,
Yeah.
and they can bring disease.
Yeah.
Call it zoonotic disease also.
Zoonotic disease,
Yeah,
yeah.
disease that is related to animals. They're bringing it when they come to your house to live. That disease comes and it can be transmitted to humans.
Yes. It
So-
becomes a public health concern.
Yeah, it's a public health concern. Now, how do we do this? Why we need to urbanize? Population is growing, we're expanding, urbanization, and then we also want to preserve others. And then the native people that sell out, they don't care about that.
No.
Like what Prof was saying, if you go those places, they just sell, collect money, they don't care about it. How do we bring this consciousness, instill it in the minds of everybody? Just like the way they instill religion in us, that we continue to talk about religion, even want to die because of religion.
Yes, sir.
So the issue of conservation of the environment, this biodiversity conservation,
Yes, sir.
I think we can begin to say that to destroy biodiversity is to be seen as a sin. The way we see religion, when you do certain things, they say it's a sin. So we begin to follow that religious identity that what we are doing the wrong thing. And when you go and kill Elisa, don't even see that you are doing the wrong thing.
Yes.
You cut down with it, don't see that you are doing the wrong thing. You kill animal, even animal that you are not even going to eat. Or even when you buy chicken from the market you want to eat, the way you even hold it, the neck will be bent down, carry it this way. You don't even care, don't even have a feeling for that animal. Even when you see the way they even kill, the one when you want to kill pig, first hit ham on the head, so it will faint, and then it's not a way, you don't even care for that animal. So how can we have this feeling? We don't have feeling for those animals. Like we say, we don't eat fellow human beings, we have feeling. But when we eat animals, this is our food, the plants, the animals, they are our food. And we are talking about environmental conservation. Can we consistently do that while we depend on this for our daily sustenance?
Thank you, Doctor. So Prof already said that there should be a structure, there should be a law. The government can actually help enact this law, and defaulters should be penalized. On the other hand, sir, we have urbanization. We are building different companies. In the process of this, you are destroying the natural environment, habitats. We have deforestation. So humanly speaking, amongst us, it is not possible, because if I come to Lagos to buy land, I already paid the land grabbers and the land seller. Then I would go ahead, because those people do not see reasons why it shouldn't. And again, there should be community engagement. There should be awareness. We can do that even on TV, and this will help us. For example, National Orientation Agency, if they educate the citizens on the importance of the biodiversity conservation, this will go a long way. Like I said, the government will start it first. Once there is punishment for defaulters, a lot of people will stop. And if you are going to do this, Prof said we should look for a place that is conserved, protected area. Such way, even it's not everywhere that would have a protected area. But in an estate, like you said, or in a street or in a community, if there is one, we know, okay, to a large extent, we have representatives of the natural environment in there.
Forest guards.
Forest guard, of course, there's a structure, there are perimeters, there are things to be looked into while enacting a protected area. The government should help do this. Then there should be community engagement programs that informs the society about peaceful coexistence between humans and and biodiversity.
Regarding your topic. You see, I still not how do I put it? Still not satisfied with the idea of not feeding in those animals, those monkeys, because the power of stomach infrastructure. I think when you feed them, you're increasing the bond or the bonding between you and the animals. You know, that social bonding, that psychic bonding. So I think there should be a limit. You shouldn't just stop tourists from not feeding them. Stomach infrastructure is important for animals and human beings too. Animals and humans. So I think there should be policy should be. I mean, the tourist centers should um, know how to advise the tourists to the limit.
He has answered his question.
No, you also be giving them contaminated food. You might be giving them contaminated food. So yeah.
There's something that is in that has become a challenge now. We have human wildlife conflicts. And in the process of you feeding them, to start with, you are disrupting their feeding pattern, which is detrimental to them. You think you're doing good to them, but it is detrimental to them. Now, when they don't get what you're introducing to them, when they smell it with you, they are aggressive. Their instinct wants to get it at all costs. Don't forget, in a protected area, in its natural state, they have everything they need for their proper growth and functioning. So if you want to be in close contact with them, you're putting yourself at risk of zoonosis, that's infections from them to you. One, you are going to be in conflicts. They can hurt you, they can, we are trying to guard against that just to have peaceful coexistence. Thank you.